morning, everybody. Put my glasses on and my hair got all messed up. Hopefully, this is Ruthie Rocks. Hopefully, everybody's ready for a nice weekend, Passover weekend, Easter weekend, and happy holiday. So, it is the second day of April. Easter is early this year, Easter and Passover. So, great way to start the month, though, huh? With a holiday. Love it. Hopefully, the weather looks like it's going to be fantastic. And let's talk about what's going on in our market. So what is going on in our market? Well, first of all, I heard in the news this morning that the job numbers are up. Unemployment across the nation is 6%, which, according to Jimmy, tells me all the time that that's almost normal because 5% of the people, it's usually 5%, close to 5% unemployed because so many people just don't work and of the working force. So I've not really delved into the stats on that one, but I believe it. And anyway, one of the good parts of that broadcast I heard today was the hospitality sector is coming back. And they're predicting, that within 2 months, it will be back to normal. And it's interesting because we had talked about being back to normal. Jimmy is going to join us today. Great day in the morning, Jimmy. Great day in the morning. Here you come. 1, 2. You're on. Hi.
I had a hearing yesterday.
Yeah. Was it anything to talk about?
I was on a panel yesterday. That's why I missed.
Yeah, we missed you. I was just talking about the job numbers.
Cool.
They came out with 6% unemployment across the nation.
Which is as low as it's supposed to go ever.
Ever, right. And that a couple 100,000 jobs came back into the hospitality sector, and they're predicting that within 2 months we're going to be normal. Well, almost normal. But I thought that was fantastic news.
Yeah.
And if you go down on the strip, you can feel it. I mean, our friend that works at the Wynn told us just this week that March Madness was the turning point. When March Madness came to town, it just kind of brought everybody back to town. And not everybody, but, lots of people back, a lot of tourists and people from California coming here. And they said that it was, and I've said this a couple times this week, it was busier than 2019 March Madness. And they're predicting a really robust Easter Passover weekend this weekend. And I mean, I just couldn't be happier for everybody. I think that's fantastic. And if you remember our check mark, applied analysis said, we'd be back to normal by June and July. And I think that's might just come to pass. And they're calling it the vaccine resurgence, something like that. Yeah.
People feel safe again. I know this morning they announced they were going to be opening the movie theaters again. For Disney's got some movies coming out, and Marvel has some superhero movies coming out. And so some of the theaters are opening back up again this week.
Wow, that's good news too. I love to go to the movies. We used to go to the movies, once or twice a month. And we haven't been to the movies in over a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to believe that it's gone by that quickly.
Well, it's also a long time to lock everybody down. That's a long time. A year is a long time.
Year is a long time. Absolutely. Yesterday, we talked about a lot about the division and the new bulletins that the division is putting out and how well they're written. And I did post them in the group. The advertising, they've made it very clear, very simple to understand. So I posted that. I also uploaded that 144-page law guide, and I showed yesterday, Jimmy, the table of contents, which makes it really easy to find things. So I thought that was, that was really good. And we are, we're back up into we have 1,953 single family homes. So we went above the 0.65 months of inventory. We're now at 0.67 because we listed 137 homes yesterday. So that was terrific. If we keep that up, that'll be making for a great April, hopefully, that we'll have homes to sell. And I also yesterday showed the Lawrence Yoon short video where he talked about the tight inventory, but he doesn't see a change in the market between now and the end of the year. He said that the interest rates will tick up and that will affect the first-time home buyers. But I looked today on bankrate.com and it's still under 3% with a 740 score and 20% down. I mean, under 3%. So, and that was 4 major lending institutions. So we'll see how that goes. Because I think we were saying that for every 100,000, it was about $400 in a mortgage payment. And I think it's about the same, still about 400 per 100,000. So that's good. Of course, prices have inched up 14% since January. They were at 365. Now they're at, they were at 345. Now they're at 365 just in the first quarter, went up 20,000 for the medium priced home. Wow. Yeah. So any thoughts?
Well, I know the high-end market's very competitive too, and that pulls the prices up. There's not as many inexpensive homes available, so that keeps them from impacting it too much. And then the high-end homes, you sell a $4 million house, that's not really an anomaly anymore, but it only takes one of those to move the needle.
Yeah, and if you look up here, I've also, and to that point, Jimmy, because you've been saying that I take advice from you, and and I put the average price versus the median price. So for the first quarter, our average price is $399, and that means that higher end homes are selling. You with me?
Yeah, I'm with you. I just got to move somewhere quieter. There's somebody in the hallway talking very loud. Sorry.
That's okay. That's all right.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So what I'm saying is over here in our chart that I provide for everybody, I show that the year-to-date average price is $399, where the year-to-date average price last year for the first quarter was $335. Can you see that?
$60,000 by buying a house. What a way to make some money.
Yeah, exactly. Amazing. Yeah. So, but those are average prices. To your point about the high-end homes are now selling, that brought that average price up, because the median price is $365. So, and it was $345. So, I mean, still you're making 20, 30, 40,000, whichever way, depending on your price range. So,
right.
Yeah, quite something, this market, quite something. But Lawrence Yoon said, and he said that he hopes that we get more inventory, but we're going into the heavy buying season. So, and I think for Vegas, I don't know what your thoughts are, but we've been doing these stats a long time, and we stay pretty steady until the holiday, on November, December, January, I think are more of our slower months. Don't you think?
It's a little seasonal, and it's real easy to look at the chart that LVR puts out, and that chart shows you on a monthly basis. It's a bar chart, or you can take the line chart, and the line chart makes it real easy to see the seasonality. We do have a little bit of seasonality. When kids get out of school, there's a little bit of a spike, and then it gets really hot, and then there's a little bit of a dip. So,
yeah. But what do you think with your agents? Are they going to sell more homes this April, May, and June than last year when we were locked down?
I don't see how we can buck the trend. Everybody's out buying a house right now, and they're getting more and more free about their mentality of going out and looking at houses. And it's easier to buy something once you look at it.
Yes. Yeah. I had a thought for you yesterday. I don't know if I can pull it out of my brain for today. See if I can find it. I think I found it. Here it is. So, Jimmy, there's this. I'm going to put this down so we can just look at each other. But let's see if I can see, it says authorization to negotiate directly with seller.
Right.
This is the form.
Right.
So what do you think of adding this as a benefit for this market where the buyer can speak for, the buyer's agent can speak for their buyer? Do you think that that's a good strategy?
Yeah, the rules are you're supposed to allow the buyer's agent to participate in the presentation. That's MLS rules and regulations. It's in section 5, I think, might be section 8, but we talk about that in our class. And if the listing broker does not want the selling broker, the cooperating broker, to be present, they're supposed to have something in writing from their seller. And if I tell you, Ruthie, I'm sorry, you can't present your own offer, just send it to me, I'm supposed to have to send you that document from my seller saying they don't want you there. Because to be fair to all parties, your buyer should be represented, my seller's representative. So you're supposed to be able to participate in, it says specifically in the rules, it doesn't allow you to be there during the discussion or the evaluation of the offer, but you're supposed to listen to the offer presentation or present the offer yourself and then excuse yourself. And that's what the rules say. It's very clear. If you don't let me present my own offer, so I think the selling agents have to talk to their buyers and say, listen, we have two choices here. We can insist that I'm there and maybe aggravate the listing broker. So that's risk if we insist I'm there. But number two, if I'm not there, I can't negotiate for you. I can't even present for you. I don't even know how well the offer was presented. So if you want me to be there, we need to make that a condition of the offer. And we send the listing broker a statement saying, listen, my buyer has written an offer. I have a bona fide signed offer by my buyer. It is a request of the buyer that I participate in the offer as per MLS rules, section whatever. And that's in the buyer broker class. That specific language is in there. And as a listing agent, when I have 8 offers, I have the right to set the time. You want to be there? Great. We're doing it 2 a.m. The guy who works swing shift, he gets off at 2. You show up at 2 o'clock, you can present your own offer. As this cooperative broker, I don't have the right to set the time when you're going to present it, but I have the right to participate in the presentation. I have that right.
Right. So in this market, do you think that's a good idea?
I don't think that your buyer has a good shot unless you participate in the offer presentation. If you lose, you can tell them, here's why we lost. There were 6 offers. Yours was the 3rd lowest. I'm sorry, but there was people that wanted the house more than you. And one had no appraisal contingency and $20,000 over list price. And that's why we lost. And how can you explain the market to them if you're not even there?
Right.
I think you almost have to insist on being there.
Yeah. And the other thing I think you talked about in class the other day was that the selling agents representing the seller need to get the seller to let them release as much information as they can about other offers. And I think what I'm trying to drive this point to eliminate these buyers getting so frustrated.
Well, and they can make a charge against you that I don't think you were fair to my client, and my client's bringing a charge that you were unfair. You had unfair practice. It said in the rules, I'm supposed to be able to participate, and you violated the rules. Now, it's not a statute. The statute doesn't say that. The rules say that, MLS rules.
Yeah.
So it's not a law. It's not. I don't want people to walk away from this broadcast thinking that they have the legal right. It's not a law. It's not a regulation. It's in the MLS rules.
Do you think that would help the market?
It would help our image as realtors.
Exactly.
I think we don't look good. I think we don't, you don't look real good. If you make 3 full price offers and one's 5,000 over and you still don't get a house for these people, that doesn't make us look real good. And they can blame it on the market to some level, but at some point they start thinking, maybe I got the wrong agent. Maybe these real estate professionals are not really so professional.
And to that point is what happened to one of our agents I think over last weekend. And that's what made me think that, we all need to be more sensitive, the sellers and the buyers agents, to, the sellers and the buyers, and try to create a better atmosphere for the market that we're going through.
Well, you and I talk about this a lot, that facts tell and stories sell. If you represented a seller and he had 5 offers and you said to the seller, listen, we have 2 choices. We can tell everybody that nobody gets to be here, or we can let them have their day in the sun and hear what they have to say. They probably know more about this buyer and their situation than I do. Maybe it's a good idea for us to let them be here. And you know what? We'll do it at the office in the conference room. We'll invite them in the conference room, 1 person at a time. So it's not going to be a free-for-all. I'll control the situation. But here's my question. If a seller had 5 offers on a piece of paper and you gave them a spreadsheet, that would be one way to do it. Or you can have 5 offers and 3 agents actually come present, and they see, number one, how professional you are and how well the other agent presents their offer. They might take a lower offer from a more skilled agent.
And
but they're going to tell stories about this. You know what? My agent brought, he had a line at the door of buyers for my house. They're not going to tell that story if you just show them a spreadsheet, say, here's how many offers we got. Now it looks like this was so easy. What'd you do to earn your money?
exactly.
You didn't do anything.
Yeah. I think that that's a really good point, because part of, and if we can tell people, okay, this is what we've got so far, you can present your offer to the seller, you know, Friday afternoon, we're going to every half hour, you know, have the buyer's agents present offers. And that makes everybody feel good. And to that point, we talked about getting your buyer qualified to the point of appraisal.
Mm-hmm. Collateral only approval.
Yeah. And I think that, you know, if more of the agents start doing that, you know, I think that there'll be less I mean, not that I don't think we're going to stop the multiple offer situation, right. But instead of 10, maybe there'll be only 5, you know. Now, to this point, when I'm also hearing myself say that what's going to happen is we're going to sell more homes and we have less inventory. But if on the other hand, I'm always trying to play these scenarios in my head. If we're getting more listings because we're being better listing agents, maybe that's the road we need to travel.
Well, there's also the point that if I have a buyer that has to make 5 offers, it looks like there's 5 buyers out there. And we heat the market up ourselves because they don't get one, they go for another one, they go for another one. And a lot of buyers now are making multiple offers. And it looks like you got 3 times or 4 times as many buyers out there. And it's really not a fair representation. They're only going to buy one house, but they're making offers on so many. It looks like there's all these buyers out there, and it gives the seller a little bit of a false impression. And it really overheats the whole process to some level. And I don't know how to fix that. I've noodled over this a while. How do I fix this? If I'm representing the buyer, do I want them to make multiple offers? Is that fair to the seller? If the seller doesn't, I'm not going to tell the seller, look, we have 3 offers out. Whichever one we win, then we're going to see if we can get that house. It's an ugly situation. And all we can do is try to be fair to all parties, because that is the regulation, and use our best judgment. And I have a really close friend of mine. I mean, this guy's a really close friend of mine, and him and I are on the 2 sides of the fence on this. He says it's unfair for a buyer to make 3 offers and hope to get one. And I say, well, Ruthie can do it. If you can do it, if you and Ruthie can do it, then my buyer can do it. It's not fair to tell my buyer they can't when other people are. So we're on, and he says, yeah, but it overheats the market. And he's right. He's right.
He is right. And yesterday, one of John's agents had 2 offers accepted. 1 buyer, 2 offers accepted.
Yep. And so now they have a due diligence period, and they're going to, and he said, well, you're not doing a good job for your seller. I said, you know what? My seller's not the one that needs to be protected right now. If the deal doesn't go, it's going to sell again in another 24 hours.
Exactly.
I'm not too worried about the sellers. Not that I'm going to be unprofessional, but that's not my concern.
Well, and that's a good point, Jimmy, because if I get a call from this agent saying, well, they've already accepted another offer on a different house, I've got other offers in front of me. Right? That wasn't the only offer I got. Right.
Well, and I will tell you, if they tell you they accepted another offer, if I'm representing the buyer, I would say, would you consider a backup offer from this buyer? And my language in the backup offer is going to say, this offer is subordinate only to the one that was accepted by Ruthie's people. And in the event you advise me that deal fell through, I have to acknowledge that I haven't found another house yet, because I'm going to keep shopping just in case your deal does go through. But if it doesn't go through, is my offer good enough to win? So I still want your house if I haven't found something better. I don't want to compete with 10 guys next time. So I'm going to ask if you'll take a backup offer, and I'm going to position the buyer so that they're not bound to it until they're told, hey, the other deal did fall through, you're in first place. I don't want to be subordinate to the whole market again. If I'm serious enough to make an offer and you reject me because you have a better offer, if that one doesn't go, now I want to be backup subordinate only to that one that you took. That's it.
Yeah, right. And I don't think there's any magic here.
No, it's not. We didn't make this market. We didn't create this market, but we've got to navigate through it the most professional way we can. And that means use every technique and strategy that you can to represent your client, whether they're the seller or the buyer.
Right, right. So I think that, and I'm sure agents out there have thought of some of these things that we're saying today. But if I'm the listing agent, I need to really, really manage my seller's expectations and be allowed to say, I've got this offer coming in at this price. It's a conventional loan or whatever it is. You know, just so that the agent calling me with a buyer that isn't going to get the deal probably, you know, can move on. I think that we've got to do that as step one.
Yeah, I think that is really fair treatment to all. If you call me and said, I have an offer, I say, listen, the seller has given me the right to disclose terms and conditions. If you want to tell me what your offer is, then I will tell you what the other offers are. If you want to keep yours confidential, I'm not telling you what anybody else is offering. So how do you want to play this? Because that's fair to all parties. If the other agents say, oh, look, Mr. Buyer, you know, we lost it because of this. We lost because we wouldn't, it's really an interesting market that we're in. And this is the time, what do they say, that, you know, we rise to the level of our challenges, and it's a challenge.
It's a challenge for sure. It is for sure a challenge. Well, Jimmy, I think we have a class on Monday, don't we? Let's see.
I don't know about Monday. All I know about is today. I'm meeting at 1 o'clock today to do some Buffini stuff. That's as far forward as I look.
Let's see. Is that, what is that? I think it is. I am going to, let's see. Let me move myself out of the picture for a second.
Is it negotiating techniques? That's what it looks like. Negotiating techniques. You really went away. Come back, Ruthie.
Okay. So anyway, yeah, it's negotiating techniques on Monday. I thought we did. So
okay.
We're going to do that on Monday. We'll be putting out our marketing this weekend for that. It might be a smaller class because it's Easter weekend.
That's possible. That's possible. And this is the one that we're talking about today. How to negotiate the best deal for your clients and stay within the rules and regulations. This is probably, I think ethics is the most important class we teach, but as far as skill sets, this is the most important skill set class that we teach, is this negotiating class. It really, the agents need skills in this, and we sprinkle some of it in the other classes. But I don't know if you can recall what Monroe's motivated sequence is, but you have to hear it a few times. But I'm going to talk about Monroe's motivated sequence in this class, and it is the most powerful negotiating strategy I've ever seen. And it comes out of college speech classes. When you have a speech class in college, they teach you Monroe's motivated sequence, and it's the way the brain moves along the decision process, and it's really powerful. And there's a clip by Justin Bieber about a skincare product called Proactive, and it's about a 3-minute clip. And I say, look, don't get hung up by it's Justin Bieber. Watch this process. And they scroll across the screen as the process goes. Here's step 1 of the process. Here's step 2 of the process. And when you leave, you have these 5 steps. And it's really, I mean, when I heard it, I actually went to the speaker. Terry Shodine was the first person that told me about it. She was speaking at a national conference, and I went up to her and said, how could I have been in real estate for 35 years and never heard about this? Because I heard about it 7 or 8 years ago. And I went to her and I said, this is amazing. She's written a book that I got the book, and I watched her do an interview about the book. But I said, how can I be 30? She said, did you go to college? And I said, no. And she said, well, if you went to college and you took speech class or debate, you would have learned this process. I said, well, how many real estate agents, A, went to college? Most of them. The answer is most of them went to college. But did they take debate or did they take speech? I don't think that's a real popular course, is it? Speech? Debate? I don't know.
So what's the name of the 5 what?
It's called Monroe's Motivated Sequence. And you can go to YouTube and look it up, Monroe's Motivated Sequence. But I'm going to show a 3-minute clip in the class. And it's just really, it's the most powerful negotiating thing I've ever seen, ever. And you know, I'm a big fan of Chris Voss, yes, the FBI guy. I'm a big fan of Buffini and Tom Ferry and how they negotiate deals, and Chester Carras and getting to yes. I mean, negotiating is probably the topic I've studied more than any other topic. And Monroe's Motivated Sequence is the most powerful thing that I've ever seen.
Well, one of the things I've learned from you, Jimmy, is when it comes to negotiating, you have got to really think before you speak.
Something said can never be unsaid.
And you can say too much.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think that's most people's problem, especially in sales.
And that's what Chris Voss says in his book, Negotiate Like Life Depends. He said, listen first. Listen first. He doesn't even say ask questions. Ask questions is number 2. First, you listen. Then you ask questions. Then you listen some more. Then you ask questions. Then you listen some more. The silence.
Yeah. Wow.
So.
Okay. Let's see. Where did it go? You know, it's weird when, let's see if I can bring this up. Oh my gosh, it's so small. One of the things I wanted to talk about a little bit today was getting organized this weekend. And just so everybody knows, if you're an Agent Formula member, we sent out the Las Vegas Market Watch this week. So people would have Easter weekend to, there's a Lawrence Yun video in the blog that went out, and also the Las Vegas market, and then the national market. So it has all those things, and that seems we've been very successful with using that outline for our monthly Las Vegas market watches. We get a lot of positive feedback about it. Anyway, so it went out, and if you haven't uploaded your database into the back of your Agent Formula website lab, I would really say do it. And you can send that blog out with one click to all those people in your database. So I think that you really need to start making people aware of the market. And one of the things that I put in there, Jimmy, let's see, I'm going to hide the social media for a second. I put this chart in there, and in the blog, because I think people, and this had to do with the Las Vegas market, people need to see, you know, look at, there was not one year that people lost money in real estate in the past 10 years. I mean, that's just incredible. And already this year, you know, people are making money. So I think it's the more people that we make aware of the market and how healthy real estate is, the better we look, the better we are going to have a future. And the market is going to change. And so if you can educate the people now, get ready now for what's going to happen in the next 2-3 years, because things will change. Just like Lawrence Yun said, the interest rates are going to tick up, and that's going to put some of the first-time home buyers out of the market.
Oh, that would be sad. That's going to be sad.
Well, it might not tick up that much, but still, you know, if it ticks up a couple $100 a month for the payment, that may put some first-time home buyers out of the market. And so we have to make sure that we are reaching out to as many people as we can, not just depending on one segment of the market.
Well, it's like the starfish story that we've all heard 50 times. You know the starfish. Oh, come on. You know the starfish story.
I will once you start telling me, but go ahead. Let's hear it again. Play it again, Sam.
Okay, this little old man goes to the beach, and the night before there'd been this terrific storm, and there's thousands of starfish that have been washed up on the shore, and they're slowly dying. They're slowly asphyxiating. The starfish are supposed to be in the ocean. And he looks down the beach, and there's this little boy running up and down the beach, and he grabs a starfish, and he throws it in the ocean. And then he runs it on it, and he grabs another starfish, and there's thousands of these things out there. And the little old man says to the little boy, he says, you can't possibly make a difference. Look at the thousands of stars. You're throwing them in one at a time. You can't possibly. And the little boy picks one up, and he laughs at the old man, and he throws it in the ocean. He said, I made a difference to that one.
Right.
And my point is, if the first-time buyer is the one that is, if that's the starfish we throw back in the ocean, if we get them in the water, we made a difference to that one. We make such a huge difference in people's lives when we sell them a house. They have no idea. And I know this, most Americans are never going to save anywhere near as much money in any kind of retirement plan as they are with their house. For most Americans, that is their number one retirement plan. It's my house. Eventually, it's going to be paid off. Isn't that nice to have a house that's paid off?
Yeah. And you made me think when you were saying that I talked, I don't know if I told you this or not, but normally in the savings accounts across the country, there's $2 trillion that Americans have saved, and for the last decade. Now, since COVID, it's 3.8 trillion.
Yes, I had heard that. I hadn't heard those numbers. I had heard that the savings had gone way up, which is great news.
Yeah, and I'm saying that because it might be a good time for us to put information out to first-time home buyers that if they put a little bit more money down, if they save a little bit more money, that they can have their American dream, because if they put more money down, they'll be able to qualify. So I think maybe we need to get that message out there in the coming. Right now we're okay because we're still around 3.5%, depending on the type of loan. But I think we'd be doing a great service to, the people that are living in apartments or renting, whatever, that, if you can just save, maybe I'll put my spreadsheet to work and figure out how much they have to save so that they can buy the payment, not the price, because the prices are going to go up with inflation over time.
Absolutely. And, the problem for us as real estate professionals, it's easier for them to just stay in their rental. It's easier. I don't have to pack my stuff. I don't have to qualify for a loan. I don't have to shop around and get shot down 5 times. It's just easier. Let me just take the path of least resistance. It's our job to make it uneasy for them. And the way that we do that is we make them unhappy with what they already have. If we take them, look, you know what? I just want your opinion on something. Let me just show you one thing. I need 20 minutes. We've been friends for 5 years. Let me just show you one thing. I want to get your opinion on it. We take them, we show them a new house that's got 40 to 50 to 60% more room than the place that they're living right now. And all of a sudden, the place that they're living right now, they're unhappy. And I want to make as many people unhappy as I can. My strategy.
That's funny. Well, I still know that the rents are going up because we manage properties. Yeah. And I still know that if you look at this chart and you can tell somebody the average renter, their net worth in 10 years is $10,000. The average homeowner, it's $250,000. And you show them this chart, it's true. It's actually true. Yeah. And, you can't guarantee how much their net worth is going to be, but you can certainly show them historically what has happened. And this is just the last decade. This isn't like 20 years ago, 30 years ago. This is the past 10 years. So I think that we can make a difference and between the rents going up and the net worth that they can achieve. And why do they want to pay somebody else's mortgage? I don't know.
And the rentals that they're building right now, the doors that are coming online are high-end stuff. I mean, somebody told me they looked at a 1-bedroom. I think they wanted $1,400 a month for a 1-bedroom, small 1-bedroom, $1,400 a month.
Yeah, and one of our friends that we were trying to find a rental for, we sold his home, and he and his wife had just gotten divorced, so he was looking to rent a home, and the only thing that he could find was he had to have a roommate. So he found a 2-master. There was a 2-master apartment, $1,800. Yeah, I mean, but for 2 people, but it was like, they were friends. It wasn't like, they weren't an item or anything, but but that's a lot of money when his house payment. He had refinanced his house in where did he live? Mountain's Edge. He had refinanced his house and he had 3 bedrooms and his rent was $900. I mean, his mortgage payment.
Yeah. One of my friends just asked me about a cash out refi. And I said, I'm not sure who told you to do that, but if you can get cash out at this rate, I would take it. I would take it. Yeah.
Free money. Well, Jimmy, if you'll stay on with me after I end the show, I think Sheila's going to join me tomorrow, talk about mortgages on my show. And next Saturday, I'm having an expert on reverse mortgages, which should be very interesting. And Monday, we have a class. And next Friday, we're going to start Buffini. So lots of things going on in our world. So I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to end the show and I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. Would you like to say goodbye and happy Easter and happy Passover? Okay, everybody, we'll see you